They say the night hides many secrets, some lost, others waiting to be remembered. Among them, there is a practice older than memory itself, a quiet ritual once whispered under stars by those who understood that prosperity was not something to chase, but something to align with. Not with effort, but with energy. Not with fear, but with frequency. What if I told you that wealth does not arrive through force, but through permission? That deep within your nightly silence, there exists a hidden doorway, a metaphysical gateway, where intention and vibration meet. And that, through one forgotten technique, that door can be opened. This is not just prayer. It is not about repeating empty words into the void. This is a technique passed down through those who knew how to speak the language of the universe. A technique that taps into your subconscious mind, using the sacred timing of night to reprogram your inner world for abundance. In a world addicted to action, this ritual invites you to be still, to speak not with your mouth but with your energy, to imagine not as escape but as creation. It is in this stillness just before sleep that ancient wisdom whispers the truth. The universe listens most when the conscious mind finally goes quiet. The gateway has always been there. It was never lost, only ignored. And tonight, you'll remember how to open it. There's a sacred moment each night that most ignore, a quiet transition when your mind slips from waking reality into the dream world. Science calls it the passage from beta to alpha, then theta brainwaves. But ancient teachings knew it simply as the veil, the thin line between conscious creation and subconscious reception. In those final moments before sleep, your conscious defenses soften. The noise quiets. Doubt lowers its voice. And what remains is pure openness, a mental soil ready to receive the seeds of whatever you plant. It is here that the ancient prayer technique becomes most potent, not because of the words you say, but because of the state you're in when you say them. Your subconscious does not think in logic or judgment. It absorbs. It accepts. It mirrors whatever you feel vividly in that moment, lack or abundance, fear or trust, is taken as truth. That truth becomes your vibration, and your vibration begins shaping what you will experience in waking life. Modern neuroscience confirms what mystics always knew. The subconscious governs up to 95% of your daily behavior. It is the quiet architect behind your choices, reactions, and the energy you emit. And when aligned with images of prosperity, felt deeply, emotionally, sensorially, it begins rearranging your reality to match. So why at night? Because that's when your inner guard lowers and the gate opens wide. While the world sleeps, your mind becomes fertile, and whatever enters then stays. That is the essence of this forgotten technique. Not loud affirmations, not frantic wishing, but silent alignment with the vibration of abundance. Imagine a glass filled with dark coffee. Now picture yourself slowly pouring water into it. The liquid begins to change. Bit by bit, the darkness fades, replaced by clarity. Keep pouring, and eventually the coffee disappears completely, leaving behind only pure water. This is not just a metaphor. This is how your mind works. Your thoughts are the liquid, and most minds, without knowing it, are filled with beliefs of lack, fear, and limitation, the coffee of scarcity. But through repetition, through presence, and through intentional focus, you can pour in new thoughts, drop by drop, until all that remains is abundance. This is called mental saturation, a principle at the heart of many metaphysical practices. To saturate the mind means to fill it so completely with one idea, one frequency, that it can no longer hold the opposite. Where abundance lives, scarcity cannot survive. Where prosperity vibrates, doubt has no space. But this doesn't happen through wishful thinking. It happens through consistent, emotional immersion. Each night, when you apply the ancient prayer technique, not just by reciting words, but by feeling wealth, seeing it, hearing it, touching it in your mind, you're pouring that clean water into your glass. thought by thought, you are reshaping the blueprint of your reality. Saturation is not force. It's not obsession. It's gentle, powerful persistence. It is choosing, night after night, to see yourself as already prosperous, not because you're ignoring your current situation, but because you're training your mind to vibrate from the future you desire. And when your mind is filled, when it finally overflows with this new frequency, the world outside will start to mirror what's within. Not by chance, but by design. This isn't the kind of prayer you were taught in childhood. It doesn't ask. It doesn't plead. It aligns. At its core, this ancient technique is less about speaking to the divine and more about speaking in its frequency, becoming a vibrational match to the reality you desire. And it begins in silence, just before sleep. Start by closing your eyes, not just to shut out the world, but to open the inner one. Let your body relax and allow the day to fade away. Then, picture yourself holding money, not as fantasy, but as memory. Touch it in your mind, feel its texture, hear the soft rustle of bills between your fingers. Imagine the scent, the weight, the way it rests in your hands. Choose the currency that feels most real to you, dollars, euros, reais. It doesn't matter. What matters is how deeply you feel it. This is not imagination for escape. This is energetic rehearsal. Your subconscious cannot distinguish between reality and emotionally charged visualization. When you feel prosperity as real, when you connect emotion to that image, your subconscious accepts it as truth. And when repeated over time, this truth becomes your frequency, and that frequency becomes your experience. While you lie there in that sacred stillness before sleep, breathe slowly and say inwardly, I am aligned with infinite abundance. Prosperity flows to me effortlessly. I am ready to receive. Repeat it gently, not with urgency, but with calm certainty. Some call this visual prayer. Others call it vibrational scripting. But the name is irrelevant. What matters is your emotional involvement, your belief, your consistency. Because the more vividly and frequently you immerse yourself in this inner ritual, the more you begin to saturate your subconscious with the vibration of wealth. And as your body slips into sleep, your mind carries that signal, that energetic imprint, into the dream world. It becomes a code, silently sent into the quantum field, not with force, but with frequency. And the universe, which always responds to vibration, begins to echo that signal back in ways you never expected. Manifestation is not a spark, it's a rhythm, a frequency that must be repeated until it becomes the only song your reality knows. The technique you've learned is powerful, yes, but its true power lies not in a single night, but in repetition, in trust, in becoming one with the energy of prosperity, night after night, until it has no choice but to respond. This ancient ritual doesn't work because it's mystical. It works because it follows the laws of vibration, and vibration is ruled by consistency. Just as you wouldn't expect to build muscle from one workout, you cannot expect a single prayer to transform your life. This is a practice, a sacred devotion to your higher self. Each night you return to the ritual, you are building a new identity. You are stepping deeper into the version of you that already holds wealth, ease, freedom. You're showing the universe that you're not waiting for a miracle. You're becoming the frequency that calls the miracle in. Doubt may try to interrupt. Life may distract. But if you hold the line, if you continue, even quietly, even imperfectly, the shift begins. Slowly at first, subtly, then suddenly. Because the subconscious doesn't respond to force. It responds to presence, to repetition, to faith lived in silence. So continue. Let this prayer become your nightly language. Let it shape your dreams and echo in your waking life. Until wealth is not something you seek, but something that flows from you.